You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, residents call upon the powers that be to rename the Key West Grand Bahama buildings in honor of the late Obadiah Wilchcombe. Plus, government officials embarked on a fact-finding mission on Grand Bahama to address affordable housing needs. And it's election day for the Bahamas Public Service Union. We have the details. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight as the country grapples with the death of Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting and a Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Obie Wilchcombe. Residents in his constituency are already calling for one of two buildings or the causeway to be named in his honor. They say that the bridge, the government complex, or the newly built Holmes Rock Junior High School were all things that he agitated for on behalf of the people of West Grand Bahama District. Jolanda Thompson-Everest joins us live tonight with reactions. Jolanda?
That the government complex and Holmes Rock Junior High School is near completion, and these residents say that those two buildings should be named in honor of their former MP. The Honorable Obadiah Wilchcombe passed away on September 25th, and ever since these residents would not stop touting that he was a servant leader and well deserving of those two particular accolades.
Mr. Wilchcombe have done so much for West Grand Bahama and Bimini. We have a new complex here that just built here in 8 Mile Rock, West Grand Bahama. I think that name will be fitting for him.
And everyone love him. And please, please, let him have the benefit of the complex and Holmes Rock Primary School.
He helped a lot of people, you know, and I'm sorry about the death. We all have to travel that road, but he is a good man. I agree with him and the building after him.
But in my view, I think that's the best, and I hope everybody fall that same part of her falling in.
Now these residents are sharing one thing in common, and they say that Mr. Wilchcombe was a humble man who fought for the youth of the West. They strongly stand by the fact that he was the voice for West Grand Bahama, using his political leadership in the right way and ensuring that things happened when he said they would.
The children will miss him very much because every holiday for school, oh yes, he gave. Then Christmas time, no one could tell a lies and say that Obie don't give. Obie give.
Mr. Wilchcombe, he was the one that take care of 8 Mile High School in terms of sports and the basketball team traveling. He made sure we stayed in the best hotel.
Obie was the type of man come in the community, mix up with the people, come to your home, find out your needs, and take out time with you and make the best for you. If he can do it, he's going to do it for you.
These residents say that the decision, of course, is in the hands of the government, but they hope that their voices are considered.
And he played a role in just about everything that is in West Grand Bahama.
The former cabinet minister is said to be one that was community-minded and a leader committed to foreseeing West Grand Bahama develop into a constituency that provided essential needs for all residents. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest. Back to you in studio, Romiko.
Thanks, Jolanda. In other news, it was a fact-finding mission and the first official tour of duty for the Minister of Housing and Urban Renewal, the Honorable Keith Bell. This, as he, along with the Minister of State in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Renewal, the Honorable Lisa Ramming, traveled to Grand Bahama along with a contingent from the capital for the one-day visit on Thursday. The purpose? To solidify the government's plan to provide additional affordable housing for residents of Grand Bahama and more so the residents of the Garden Villas community. Christine Pinder reports.
The government moves to begin its housing project for Grand Bahama. Minister of Housing and Urban Renewal, the Honorable Keith Bell, along with Minister of State, the Honorable Lisa Ramming, were accompanied by the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, and Deputy Director of Urban Renewal on Grand Bahama, Senator the Honorable Kirk Russell, to tour two of the initial housing projects aimed at improving living conditions on the island. The first stop was the Garden Villas area, where both ministers talked with residents to learn about their immediate housing needs. Addressing members of the media, the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie.
We are now in the Garden Villas area that requires numerous issues to be addressed. One of them is housing. You can see many of these dilapidated structures that exist, and the Honorable Keith Bell has made it a priority to focus on this area as one of the initial projects that we will undertake on this island.
Both ministers walked through the Garden Villas community, knocking on doors to listen to the concerns of the residents. While these residents describe their needs as pressing, proper housing accommodations and immediate employment topped the list. The Minister for Grand Bahama, who has a passion for improving the lives of citizens of this island, was willing to register them for the beautiful Grand Bahama program and take immediate steps to improve their lives.
We've had meetings this morning with the Grand Bahama Port Authority, also with the Grand Bahama Development Company. We've also had tours at various facilities that will help us to carry through some of these projects that we want to do. But I'm just excited that we will begin to see action, because there's so much that our people have been going through. And so we are working hand in hand. That's the Ministry for Grand Bahama, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Renewal, to ensure that we not only bring relief, but that we revitalize these communities. And I'm just excited that we are all in this together. We're going to be working hand in hand together to make sure we bring relief.
After touring the Urban Renewal Pine Ridge headquarters, the ministers had a chance to also meet with employees as well as Center Manager, Ms. Lisa Higgs, who informed them about the various activities offered by the center. The next stop was the Heritage Subdivision, where a private owner has 18 lots with all the infrastructure in place. Once acquired, home construction is expected to begin. For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Christine Pinder.
Well, the Bahamas Public Service Union leadership elections held throughout the country today. Here in Grand Bahama, members showed up to vote on their team of choice to represent the union body. As our Aja Quant reports, while many members showed up to vote, they were disappointed in the organization of the election on Grand Bahama.
Members of the Bahamas Public Service Union showing up today to cast their votes and have their voices heard in determining the future direction of the union. As you can see, the competing teams are out in large numbers, vying for leadership positions.
We're feeling confident of the work that we put in up to this point.
A vote for the Hammer is a vote for change.
I know at the end we will be victorious.
The We Care team, the Power team, and the incumbent BPSU workers team have all thrown their hats in the ring in hopes of representing thousands of members across the country. The atmosphere on the BPSU grounds, one of high spirits as each team eagerly awaits for the end of day results. Sarah Bethel Cooper, candidate for the vice president of the Northern Region, says her hope is to better her people in the public service, and her Power team is ready to shift the culture.
I am ecstatic. I can't wait for the end result. Even though we had some setbacks ahead, listen, God is in control. We understand, the Power team knows that we have done the work. We worked the ground. The people understand our message and the message which was received.
Michael Blatch, the We Care team candidate for vice president of the Northern Region, speaking to the humility of his team.
It's always a good thing to be poised and humble and let the results speak for itself.
And returning to the ring to defend their title is the BPSU workers team. Incumbent vice president of the Northern Region, Latoya Cartwright, says they have been on the ground from day one.
I know our work will definitely speak for us, as we have made it our mandate to accomplish what we had promised for our election campaign, and we have done that.
Many BPSU members disgruntled over the election process as they say it is just too unorganized.
Why is it that union members in Nassau gets to vote at 8 o'clock and here in Grand Bahama we don't get in the voting center until 9:35 this morning? This is something I've been a part of this union for years, and this is something we've constantly been going through every time there's a union election.
It goes back to communication and organization. To this day, the power team candidate for the Northern region has not received a register.
And other teams say, simply put, it is out of their hands.
It's kind of unorganized. I can't speak to the fact of that because it's beyond my control.
I cannot speak to the unorganized process. However, as candidates and aspiring candidates, we're not allowed to participate in the electoral process. Labor is conducting that. However, all requests made by Labor was facilitated as soon as we could have.
The members and competing teams are all voicing their hope for the future that the next leadership will prioritize addressing these issues. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant.
Now, the election polls closed at 5 p.m. this evening, and you can check our social media pages for the results that are expected soon. Well, the Bahamas Public Service Union also holding their elections on Bimini and Abaco. We spoke with the Northern Region presidential candidate from the power team, Alex Burrows, who says they had some challenges with the register on Bimini and Abaco.
We had some challenges in Bimini with the register. The register was delayed. It did not get on the island of Bimini until sometime around 11, 12 o'clock, and polls opened from 9 a.m. So that was a very frustrating ordeal for our members down there. We were advised by the Registrar of Trade Unions that officials from the Department of Labor were still waiting on the master copy. There was a substandard list that was presented by the union, which was not the official list. And so we were very concerned about that. But members from the Airport Authority in Abaco, their register in order to vote in these elections was not made available to them, to the Department of Labor, who supervises the elections. And so that was also a frustrating process there.
Similarly, presidential candidate for the We Care team, John Pinder, says their experience was the same.
For example, in New Providence, the register had 4 departments listed off it and didn't have a current University of the Bahamas register. The people in Bimini and Abaco are complaining that their names are not on the list. And these are people who've been in the union for many years, and some persons who just would have joined. They're not there, they're eligible because they would have been in the union from April. And the whole list of irregularities goes on. You know, there's no police presence, and people are voting on receipts, and, you know, so I know the election is compromised. And I believe it's intentional by the present administration to buy more time in office.
Now, we also reached out to the workers team to get an update on the electoral process on Abaco and Bimini, but we did not receive a response up to news time. In news from the police on Grand Bahama are investigating the circumstances surrounding the attempted suicide of 47-year-old female today, Wednesday, September 27th, 2023. Preliminary reports indicated that shortly after 8 a.m., police received reports that a female, while at her residence located Sparshot Road, ingested a quantity of over-the-counter medication in an attempt to take her own life. EMS personnel were summoned to the scene and transported the victim to the hospital tonight. She is listed in stable condition. Now, this is the second attempted suicide in as many days. Just this past Monday, police on the island of Abaco investigated the circumstances surrounding the attempted suicide of a 33-year-old female. Preliminary reports revealed that shortly after 11 p.m., police received reports that a female, while at her residence in Sandy Point, Abaco, ingested a quantity of prescription medication and alcohol in an attempt to take her life. The female was transported to the local clinic where she was listed in stable condition. Investigations continue into both matters. Well, when we come back, we hear from a longtime friend, confidant, and political supporter of the late Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting. That story, plus the latest in sports, when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
You asked for it, you've got it. A new plant nursery, fully loaded with everything you need. And extended hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Fluid Factory presents Rick Ross live in concert, Saturday, December 23rd at Gombe Park, Freeport. Early bird tickets, general $35, VIP $50, and platinum $85. Fluid Factory Skybox $150. See you there.
Every Sunday from noon until 4 p.m., join us at Portobello's Restaurant at the Grand Lucayan for a delicious full buffet spread. Call 373-1333 for more information.
Don't miss the 25% end-of-season sale at Park & Shop this September 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th, excluding underwear and red tag items. It's the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Grand Bahamas National Youth Month opening service under the theme, Youth Excellence is the Standard. October 1st, 3 p.m. at Calvary Temple. The Hawksbill High Reunion Class of 82 celebrates with a cocktail reception Friday, October 6th and a fun day in Pelican Point Saturday, October 7th. For tickets, call 359-7504 or 533-2063. Don't miss out on the amazing 20% off discount going on now until September 30th at Mo Divas, Caravel Beach, and Mo Hustle in the Tropical Commercial Center, West Mall Drive.
The Abaco Seventh-day Adventist District will be hosting its first Love in Action 2023 Expo on Monday, October 9, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the Murphytown Park. Enjoy family fun with lots of food, desserts, games, and drills by our youth on Monday, October 9.
Depression, mental illness, guilt, trauma, and substance abuse. These are some of the symptoms that lead one to contemplate suicide.
The month of September is recognized as Suicide Prevention Month, a time when countries and organizations around the world raise awareness on suicide and focus efforts on directing treatment to those who need it most.
Suicide Prevention Awareness, right here on the ZNS Network. Wednesday, September 27th at 8 p.m. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. In this report, we hear from a patriarch in the West End community, artist Neely, as he gives a glimpse into the enduring connection with the late minister, Obi Wilchcombe. Raven Davis reports.
We were all one family, all our lives.
Longtime friend and relative of the late Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, artist Neely reflects on their enduring relationship. Neely says his own political journey began in the 1960s on the behest of Wilchcombe's father. This agreement eventually shaping their connection.
As a young man, started coming to conventions as a ZNS reporter. He became very close to Celinda. And it just went from there. The next thing I knew, he wanted to run as a candidate, and I agreed to support him. Any kind of support he needed, he got. Any kind, because his dad gave it to me, and I gave it to him.
That unwavering support, a byproduct of Wilchcombe's selfless nature, as Neely notes that he was a skilled politician, incomparable in his field.
I'm going to tell you, I don't know any like him. He was a generous person. He was a very quiet person. And he was willing to give. I never counted what he gave.
Now, Wilchcombe's passing will cause for a by-election in his constituency. But Mr. Neely says the challenge now is finding just the right candidate to replace such a devoted, patient, and dedicated man.
We believe have one or two people in mind, but only God knows. The test will be in the trials. He would certainly have left a great legacy, especially in his constituency of Bimini. And I believe that in the next several months, certain things will be exposed as to what he was working on in the West End constituency.
The nation was deeply shaken by the news of Wilchcombe's passing on Monday, tributes from both sides of the political divide continuing to pour in, and the West End and Bimini community which he served reeling. Noting that Wilchcombe had been ill for some time, Neely says he was not surprised upon hearing the news.
I am a great believer in God, and so I believe that the fact that he is taken away is probably to give some other person an opportunity to excel, you know. But I know that there are some things that he has been working on that they will continue, and they're going to bring blessings to whoever it is that is representing him now.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, as the ZNS News team came together to honor the life and contributions of their beloved colleague, Natalie Martinborough, a former colleague shares a touching tribute showcasing the impact of a remarkable journalist. Here's that report.
I have never seen somebody so good at what they do.
Former broadcast journalist Peter Adderley says Natalie Martinborough was the heart and soul of the newsroom. Gazing solemnly, he reflects on his time at ZNS nearly 40 years ago. According to Adderley, Martinborough was the shy girl from Long Island who came into ZNS working in the community announcement department before her ascent to a decorated and seasoned journalist.
She trained, she asked the right questions to become a top broadcast journalist in this country. She had contacts out of this world. And more than having the stakeholders' contacts, the stakeholders trusted her and made contact with her with and for anything that was newsworthy.
He says without doubt that Martinborough loved ZNS and willingly dedicated her life to the corporation.
I don't recall knowing that Natalie ever went to a concert or to go see a movie. Our social life was limited to the events that we had around here at ZNS, from the Kipling building to this building. Just a really, really good person. The constant professional who did her job and never wanted to be in the spotlight.
Remarking that she embodied the very best of journalism, the staff here at ZNS Northern Service was encouraged to honor her memory by upholding the standard she set. That said, to be a Natalie means to be trusted to get the job done, always with the spirit of excellence.
I felt compelled to encourage the staff at ZNS to be a Natalie. Be honest, be committed, work hard, be meticulous about your job, have a passion for the job, but understand the job, the technical skills that are required, the ability to really deliver good news, and to hold the corporate image of ZNS to the apex.
Adderley says Martinborough's presence was like a beacon, a radiant light that illuminated the path of journalism, though he says she was a humble woman who insisted on helping everyone else to shine.
I have never seen somebody that good, that was so humble and preferred to see everybody else shine. She lived a beautiful life, and she will be missed here at ZNS and in the Grand Bahama community.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Your sports check is next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. The entire country mourning the death of the Honorable Obadiah Wilchcombe. Obi had a major impact on sports in the country. Here's Shane Stubbs.
There's no denying the lasting legacy that the late Honorable Obi Wilchcombe left in politics. But he also left a mark in the sports world, who now has to come to grips with that tragic loss. We spoke today with Deputy Director of Sports here in the North, Norris Bain, who says Wilchcombe will be truly missed and is sending out a clarion call to all schools in the North within the sporting community to honor his memory in the coming future.
I'm calling on all the schools to put on perhaps the greatest athletic event on this island.
Reflecting on the late minister's philanthropy, Bain remembers the lengths Wilchcombe went to ensure each athlete was well taken care of.
I think it's well over 25 years now. 30 years we've been going to the Hugh Campbell tournament. He definitely was against young people being on the streets raising funds to represent this island. Even up to last year's Hugh Campbell, he made sure that the children of Grand Bahama were comfortable in terms of where they stayed.
General Manager for the Ministry of Tourism, Grand Bahama, Nuvi Chuda Singh, spoke to OB's dedication to enhancing sports tourism around the country.
Some of the large events that we were able to be successful in attracting to the Bahamas, you're talking about the Bahamas Bowl, you're talking about the Miami Heat from the NBA coming here for their preseason warm-ups and getting together, getting the team in cohesion. You're talking about the Miami Dolphins visiting Nassau in particular. You talk about the World Relays having been born here in the Bahamas and coming back next year as well. And so for sports tourism, OB Wilchcombe really put that on the map for the Bahamas.
For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Shane Stubbs.
And finally in sports, scores from the Oriole Nose Rosina Nesbitt High School Volleyball League. Tabernacle defeated Sister Mary Patricia in 3 sets in junior boys play. Over in senior boys action, Sunland got the win against BMES in 2 sets, and Tabernacle defeated St. Paul's 21-14 each in 2 straight sets. And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
We all need to save. Save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop. The new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations in Freeport and 8 Mile Rock, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
This is a public safety announcement from the Grand Bahama Power Company. Customers are reminded to ensure that a transfer switch is installed when a backup energy source, such as a generator, is being used. When a storm strikes and knocks out power to your home, you may be forced to use a backup energy source, such as solar panels or a generator. Do you know about the potential danger or how to safely use backup energy sources? There's one major risk that you should be aware of. It's called backfeed, and it can endanger you, a family member, or someone else, especially a lineman or electrician working near your property. What is backfeed? Backfeed occurs when power travels from your solar setup or generator back through the utility line, resulting in them being unknowingly re-energized. Backfeed creates a very dangerous and potentially deadly situation for line workers and the general public. If your solar system or generator isn't properly installed, the backfeed of electric current could severely injure or kill a lineman working to restore power. The best way to avoid backfeed is by installing a transfer switch. Transfer switch ensures your household isn't connected to the power grid and the backup energy source at the same time. To prevent backfeed, generators, whether permanent or portable, should never be plugged into a home's wiring or directly to the circuit breaker panel. Be sure to have a qualified licensed electrician install your backup energy source and a transfer switch, thereby eliminating backfeed. Preventing backfeed could save a life.
Vanessa Pinder, you are our Facebook friend of the day. Thank you so much for watching. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Parliamentary Department readies for by-election. BPSU poll day. Millions in Junkanoo seed money. And in sports, Murray leads Smokies to baseball title. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lapinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The untimely death of sitting cabinet minister, the Honourable Obie Wilchcombe, has left the Prime Minister to not only find someone to now lead the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, but a representative for Wilchcombe's beloved West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency. And while there's no official word on when this will take place, officials from the Parliamentary Department must stand ready. For more on what this entails, our Jiminy DeSwain spoke to the acting Parliamentary Commissioner.
Good evening, Makushla, and good evening, Bahamas. I'm coming to you live from the Parliamentary Registration Department on Farrington Road. The word tonight, West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituents are to ensure that everything is ready in order to cast a vote in the upcoming by-election. That bit of advice from the acting Parliamentary Commissioner, Arthur Taylor, whose office is readying itself in anticipation of the writ of elections being issued by the Governor-General.
What happens is, until the writ is read, we still continue on registration and transfers, especially in that constituency. Persons will be able to go in and do transfer if they need to. Those who would have moved into the area, West End or Bimini, and not transferred, moving from other areas in either Grand Bahama or wherever in the Bahamas, you know, especially in Bimini where they had persons going in for the hotel, working for employment, who now want to be a part of the process.
According to law, a voter would have to have resided in the named constituency for a minimum of 3 months in order to register to vote. Taylor says this is now the time for potential voters to register, especially those transferring.
Those registrations take place now in the administrator's office in Bimini and in 8 Mile Rock and in Freeport City proper. They can go there and register for those constituencies. We have a total of, the last figure we got just about 2 weeks ago was about 5,689 persons are registered there now.
There are 11 polling stations in West End and 3 in Bimini for a total of 14 for that twin constituency. But how soon can the department mobilize for a by-election?
Fortunately for us, we're preparing now for the junior local government elections and 1 or 2 union elections, which had us preparing ballot boxes and the kind and getting our boots and kits and things ready for those elections. So this will just allow us now to increase the number of things we were doing just now. So those preparations are underway. The next step is to, of course, start to train persons who are going to be working in those areas. As returning officer will get his people together, presiding officers for the polls themselves. Prior to, we want to do a full forensic of the voting register in West End and Bimini, meaning a scrutineering exercise, we call it, where you go down there and if you have 5,000 voters, we need to find all 5,000 of them. Make sure they are who they are.
Taylor is expected to travel to Grand Bahama on Friday and Bimini on Saturday to discuss the next steps, also to make sure the locations used for polling stations are still available.
And then it's just a waiting game. When the writ is read, we then go into full motion, because then we'd have either the 21 days or the 30 days to get the thing wrapped up. That is, to then set a nomination day, which means you have to go send the ballots off after the nomination day. The ballots need to be printed, whoever's going to run in the area, and then go into the full election mode after that.
Farrington Road, and we can tell you that in the days and, of course, possibly weeks ahead, we'll bring you more on this story. In other news tonight, traffic fatalities may not be running neck and neck with homicides, but they are troubling nonetheless. The good news is with the enactment and expected enforcement of a new traffic law, root causes of this problem will hopefully be addressed. Carla Palmer has that story.
We've recorded 36 traffic fatalities for the year.
Last year, there were 51 traffic fatalities in total, and the year prior, in 2021, 46. Driving well beyond the designated speed limits throughout the country continues to be the principal reason for the cause of death on our streets. Chief Superintendent of Police in charge of the Traffic Division, David Lockhart, confirms this.
What we can tell you is that we have noticed that most of these fatalities as a result of speed. We've had one or two that are a result of driving under the influence of alcohol.
Both factors troubling to traffic authorities. Lockhart says they are committed to arresting the problems.
Both of these areas are areas that we are targeting this year in our enforcement. We're having more speed traps.
Additionally, a new traffic law already on the books will soon take effect.
Very shortly, we'll start the implementation of the breathalyzers, where we'll be stopping persons doing field sobriety testing to find out if they're actually under the influence or impaired and should not be driving. The law was changed a couple of years ago, and it was assented to. We were just waiting for one or two things to be finalized.
Not only are the breathalyzer apparatus in country, but according to Chief Superintendent Lockhart, some 30 officers have already been trained in the instrument's use.
They have recently been recalibrated to make sure that they're functioning 100%, and we have a certificate of fitness for that to show that they are in proper working order.
And if you think you can escape this law, you are strongly advised to think twice.
The law is written in such a way, if you're suspected of being driving under the influence of alcohol and you're asked to submit to breath or blood and you refuse, the court would accept that you were under the influence of alcohol at the time, and that is why you refuse. So it's mandatory.
Lockhart is pushing to have the breathalyzer test come into effect as early as next month. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Well, detectives now have 2 homicide investigations on their hands after another man was killed last night, this time in the Coconut Grove area just before 11 p.m. Police confirming that the victim is a 21-year-old male resident of that area. Now, based on what authorities have shared with us, an anonymous caller reported to police that shots were being fired in the area of First Street. When officers arrived on the scene, they discovered the victim's bloodied body at the rear of a business. EMS personnel later confirmed that the victim had died. Today, reports are that shortly after 3 o'clock this morning, police received reports of a domestic complaint at Rugby Drive off Yamacraw Hill Road. When officers arrived on the scene, they met a man who barricaded himself in a room and inflicted 2 deep lacerations to his wrists with broken glass in an attempt to take his own life. The victim was taken to hospital, where he's listed in serious condition. Over in Grand Bahama, a 47-year-old woman made a similar attempt at her Sparshot Road home early this morning. Police said the woman ingested a quantity of over-the-counter medication in an attempt to take her life. EMS were called to the scene and the victim taken to hospital. She's in stable condition, according to authorities. In news from the courts this evening, the sexual assault case of former Canadian fashion mogul Peter Nygaard opening Tuesday in a Toronto court. Prosecutors argue that Nygaard used his power and status to lure and sexually assault 5 women in a private bedroom suite in his Toronto headquarters from 1988 to 2005. The former longtime resident of Lyford Key in the capital is also facing racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and other crimes which he allegedly committed in the United States, Canada, And right here in the Bahamas, once Nygaard's trial ends in Canada, he's expected to be extradited to the United States to face charges there. Documents filed by the Southern District of New York back in 2020 allege that Nygaard raped 10 women, including 9 Bahamians. That involved intimidating his victims and offering them hush money for over a decade. Well, meantime, despite the gravity of his charges, embattled wonderkind Sam Bankman-Fried doesn't like jail one bit. Not here in the Bahamas, neither in the United States. So when in August, SBF's bond was revoked and he was locked up after a judge ruled it was likely he'd tamper with witnesses, many knew the 31-year-old wouldn't last. On Monday then, Bankman-Fried renewed a request for temporary release from jail during the course of his trial, according to online reports. And this was not the first time. On September 12th, however, that request was denied. On September 21st, an appeals court reportedly rejected an attempt to overturn that ruling. In a last-ditch attempt, SBF made yet another request for the disgraced crypto CEO to be released the day before his trial on October 2nd with conditions. These include consenting to a gag order. He's also to be accompanied by a private security guard to ensure he does not have access to any computers, cell phones, the internet, television, or any electronic devices. A decision on the matter was to be made today. Wayne Jones, a Bahamian-born career law enforcement officer, was risen through the ranks to become chief of police of the Miami Beach Police Department. It's a monumental appointment for a city that not very long ago had laws that required blacks to be indoors by sunset. Well, our Corvell Pyfrom recently visited the new chief and reports tonight on how this appointment is reshaping perceptions of race both here and there.
Tonight, the next top cop of Miami Beach could be making history as the city's first black police officer.
Miami Beach has a new top cop, and today he was officially welcomed to his new role.
Chief Wayne Jones isn't just getting a new badge, he's also creating a new chapter in Miami Beach history.
The historic appointment of Wayne Jones as the first black chief of the Miami Beach Police Department is significant for the city. Miami Beach Mayor Dan Gelber demonstrated this at Jones's swearing-in ceremony last month.
When you think about that, when I was a young child, if Wayne Jones was walking on our streets after 8 p.m., the police would arrest him. Today, we will be swearing him in as the chief of our police department.
Chief Jones, 54, is almost a month into his new job. The Bahamian-born Miami Beach top cop has been with the department for almost 3 decades.
Today, I am humbled to stand before you as the first black police chief in one of America's most iconic cities.
His appointment may be new, but Jones's philosophy to policing remains what it has been for his entire career, one built around respect.
In simple terms, policing cannot be done by the police department in and of itself. It just cannot be done by police officers. Communities, whatever community we serve, have to be involved, have to be engaged, have to be partners and collaborative with the police department to be successful, because we just cannot do it alone.
And the chief's appointment is both historic and impactful. Officer Christopher Bass works on the chief's communications team, now 27, just about the same age Chief Jones was when he joined Miami Beach PD. His influence on the black young officer is clear.
I believe that the unique component of Chief Jones' leadership is his empathy and his compassion. Because a leader, you can have all of the academic success in the world, but if you have emotional intelligence that resonate with your men and women, I think that is the key to success.
Bahamian Consul General in Miami, Kurt G. Hollingsworth, believes the chief's appointment is significant for Bahamians as well.
I think it's just a wonderful thing to have someone like Chief Jones in the position that he is in. And again, he serves as a motivation for all of us, despite age, ranks, serial numbers, whatever the case might be.
Make no mistake about it, Wayne Jones is the highly decorated, distinguished Chief of Police of the Miami Beach Police Department. But he's also one incredibly proud Bahamian. In Miami Beach, for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Also to come, a continued rise in dengue cases. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Of the news is brought to you by Full Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Has changed over the past 60 years. But at Commonwealth Bank, our mission to build lifelong relationships with our clients remains the same. Our customers are more than just a number. Our customers are our family, and together we create banking solutions that fit your unique needs. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Since they were on sale, Monique couldn't resist things she didn't need. And neither did Bruno. Hungry for deals? You better come and satisfy that hunger for only $20 at KFC before doing something crazy. Get 8 pieces of juicy, fresh, in-store prepared KFC fried chicken and hot golden fries for only $20. A finger-licking good deal.
Before the big game, save big and shop the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Soy's mayonnaise, 30 ounce, $3.99. So cheesy macaroni and cheese, 7 1/4 ounce, 89 cents. Best Value whole kernel corn, 15 ounce, $1.09. Whole watermelons, $6.99 each. Jamestown bacon, 16 ounce, $4.99. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
We are New Life Natural Company Limited, and we have actually been in the community for now 13 years, serving in the health field. Our diets is probably one of the most poorest diets actually in the Caribbean, and we are really low in the world. As a result of our diet, we are actually inheriting all of these different diseases. So we need to kind of like shift the way how we eat and shift it to eating more healthier food. So we at New Life here, we are trying to change the paradigms. We are actually introducing tasty, healthy options. And so hopefully this SPDC initiative will actually create the awareness, help us to have an understanding of what we are doing, why we are doing it, and help us to begin to shift this paradigm of proper eating, proper dieting, and proper fitness. So our motto is eat well, be well, and let your food be your medicine.
For more information about the Fitness and Wellness Initiative, contact the SPDC at 461-7232.
In a matter of hours, we could know the results of the BPSU's elections that saw 3 teams with 2 presidents, a past and an incumbent, vying to secure the top post. Cleopatra Murphy has more.
The Bahamas Public Services Union could soon have a new president if incumbent Kingsley Ferguson and his workers' team are unsuccessful in their bid for another term in office. Nearly 3,000 members of the BPSU are expected to head to the polls Wednesday to cast their vote for a new leadership team. Valerie Percenti, who was vying for Assistant Secretary General with the workers' team, is adamant Ferguson be re-elected and his executive team appointed, citing that they focus on the small man.
Look at the workers' team track record over the past years, okay? We were successful in bringing government to the table that our predecessor was unsuccessful with. We were able to negotiate, I think, 5 or 6 agreements under our tender, and they were successful. They're presently being registered as well as implemented. So we stand on our track record.
Hoping to make a return is former acting director of labor and longtime BPSU president John Pinder. He and his We Care team are hoping for success at the polls, with vice presidential candidate Belinda Chipman promising to make a difference for workers.
The We Care team's belief is that we're coming not to create war with the government, but to ensure that we have peaceful negotiations and partnerships with them and any other stakeholder to build the union and to build the membership and to also give the best service and quality representation that any leadership can give.
The Power team's Arison Wilson has his eyes set on clinching the Secretary General position. Leading that team, Alexander Burrows Jr. Wilson claims the union has been bleeding members, and one thing that team hopes to do is rebuild.
The Power team have the energy to bring up the members. We are here today. We believe that this election, the members can start speaking the fact that they want a real change, and that's what we're here for.
After a full day of voting, polls close today at 5, and officials expect those results to be in by later tonight. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Now, as indicated, veteran unionist John Pinder is hoping to make a return as BPSU leader, going head-to-head with Kingsley Ferguson and Alexander Burrows. Earlier today, Pinder spoke with our news team about his campaign.
We talk about the fact that the union finds itself in a financial crisis. It needs more revenue and a new revenue intake. So we definitely will test the polls for agency shop, and I already know how we can go about getting that done. The second thing we look at is the digitization of the public service. We want all of our members to get that training, because once they are trained properly, a number of jobs that is being done within the workplace, we believe they can do from home. So we look at remote work. It worked during the pandemic. We want people only have to come to work if they have to. And then we talk about open salary scales. We believe that it's so unfair for persons to meet the criteria for an increment, but it's not able to receive that increment because they're at the max of their salary scale. So we want open salary scales.
On the health scene this evening, local dengue cases now at 145, giving us insight on those in hospital and what authorities are doing to increase fogging exercises and other preventative measures is Managing Director of the Public Hospitals Authority, Obadiah Rowe.
In Grand Bahama, we have 1 admitted patient, and in New Providence, we have 5. So we're really not in that crisis mode at this moment. However, we're ensuring that those patients are cared for in an isolated area. We've also increased our fogging, also at the Princess Margaret Hospital. We've also provided nets, mosquito nets to ensure, and also some other devices that sort of trap mosquitoes.
Meantime, 30 nurses from PMH, Sandilands, and the Rand Memorial Hospital in Freeport were today treated to lunch as thanks for their ongoing efforts to save lives. Behind the gesture, the Bahamas Harvest Church family.
I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful, and most of all to be a part of it, not just to hear about it, to actually come here and sit, fellowship with Bahamas Harvest, and of course enjoy a delicious meal. An amazing opportunity.
This is very awesome. I like it. It says a lot to us. It says that we appreciate it, because a lot of times when you work in mental health, persons don't always remember us, but it was good for us to be included with everybody else.
With some 40 years of experience as a midwife, Managing Director of the PHA, Obadiah Rowe, reminded that nurses are the backbone in healthcare, and as such, thanked all of them for their invaluable contributions.
It demands physical stamina, emotional resilience, and a depth of knowledge that is constantly evolving. Every day you face demanding situations, long hours, and the weight of responsibility. But through it all, you continue to show up ready to make a difference in the lives of our patients. You are the unsung heroes who hold the hands of the elderly, offering comfort and solace in their final moments.
Well, if all goes as planned, Qatar Airways will visit the Bahamas mid-October to finalize their work here. According to Tourism Investments and Aviation Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, it's also an opportunity to look at the advice the Bahamas has received from them. And here's why the Bahamas is leaning on Qatar's expertise.
You may know that Qatar Airways is one of the most successful, most vibrant, robust airline in the world, one of the largest, with more than 130 destinations that they're serving. They are adding, or looking to add, an additional 70 routes in terms of new destinations, limited only by their ability or inability to acquire new aircrafts at this time due to there being a shortage in the world. So this is a partner that will add significant value to Bahamas Air. Of course, Bahamas Air stands on its strong safety records with good quality Bahamians running the airline.
The minister is hopeful working with Qatar will equip Bahamas Air to provide even more U.S. service to local destinations.
We're looking at other destinations for Bahamas Air, including Cleveland, Cincinnati, and others. We are quite frankly restrained by the limited capacity in terms of equipment, and we're looking at a number of ways to be able to address this long-standing vexing issue.
The Bahamas today joining in celebrating World Tourism Day with officials at the University of the Bahamas using the moment to highlight a number of focus areas, including green initiatives. Our Lloyd Allen was there.
Well, of course, today is World Tourism Day, and we're here now at the University of the Bahamas speaking with a number of persons excited about going green. We're speaking with the Dean of the COM, Mario Archer. Of course, tell us about your initiatives on campus today.
Good afternoon. Today we are here on campus spreading the word and bringing recognition to World Tourism Day. And so today it's the Green Initiative. And so we're here, we're speaking with students, handing out a variety of different flyers and literature to bring awareness to the cause.
Now, as I spoke with a number of students on campus about this initiative, Dustin Archer, an economics major, along with others, say it's a good thing, especially for the environment.
I believe that the Green Initiative here in the Bahamas is very important because it helps the environment, and as well it's needed here because this is what tourists come here for.
As times are changing, global warming and all of that, so we have to take everything into perspective to try and sustain our beautiful islands.
There's a cultural aspect to it, you know. The indigenous fruits that grow here, like, you know, you should take your dillies, for example. They've become so ingrained and it actually tastes pretty good. So they're so commonly throughout Bahamian households that it's actually become part of our culture. I believe there's a cultural aspect to it. And I believe the nation's beauty is something that has also become part of our identity. So to like do away with that would simply do away with a part of who we are.
Now, of course, today would not be complete without hearing the theme. On the count of three, these folks behind me are going to recite. 1, 2, 3.
Tourism and green investments.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Marcellus Hall joins us in studio with a check on what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for this evening, the sun setting on DeAndre Ayton's time in Phoenix. We'll give you details just ahead in sports.
Each year on September 27th, we join the global community in celebrating World Tourism Day. And it is essential that we understand why this day holds such immense importance for our nation. The Bahamas, with its stunning beaches, crystal clear waters, vibrant culture, and warm hospitality, is undoubtedly one of the world's premier tourist destinations. Our tourism industry is not just a pillar of our economy, it is the lifeblood of our nation. This 43rd World Tourism Day provides us with a moment to reflect on the profound impact of tourism on our islands and to recognize the opportunities and responsibilities that come with it. So this year, tourism and green investments is the theme we celebrate. Tourism is the cornerstone of our economy, generating substantial revenue and providing jobs for many Bahamians. It supports countless businesses, from hotels and restaurants to tour operators and artisans. The economic benefits of tourism are felt far and wide, providing opportunities for growth and prosperity in communities across our nation. Tourism also serves as a bridge between cultures. When visitors come to the Bahamas, they don't just enjoy our breathtaking landscapes, they also engage with our unique traditions, music, food, art, and heritage in harmony with nature. Our natural beauty is one of the primary reasons tourists choose to visit the Bahamas. World Tourism Day reminds us of the importance of preserving our environment. Sustainable tourism practices help protect our delicate ecosystems, ensuring that future generations can also revel in the wonders of our islands. So as we celebrate World Tourism Day, let us remember the role it plays in improving the livelihood of many Bahamians. Today is not just a date on the calendar. It is a reminder of the immense significance of tourism to our beloved Bahamas. It highlights the positive impact tourism has on our economy, our culture, our environment, and it calls upon all of us to uphold our commitment to sustainable tourism practices and responsible travel. So thank you for joining the celebration, and let us continue to cherish and promote our nation as a world-class tourism destination, not just on World Tourism Day, but every day. Thank you.
Trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity.
It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it.
My sales increase, and I can track my earnings.
Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today.
Call 356-7764.
Some $2.8 million set aside to fund Junkanoo parades for the 2023-2024 Junkanoo season, while more than $736,000 in seed funding will be dispensed to Junkanoo groups. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture hosting a press conference today to announce Junkanoo seed money for groups in New Providence and throughout the country. You see, officials are hoping to have a repeat of what's been dubbed the biggest and safest Junkanoo event ever experienced last year. According to Youth, Sports and Culture Minister, the Honourable Mario Bullag, the National Junkanoo Committee will also lead the 2023-2024 parade by assisting Grand Bahamas Committee.
We are presenting today to New Providence 7 A category groups of 30,000, 18 B category groups of 15,000, 23 D category groups participating of 1,500, sorry. 20 fund group of 2,000, and in Grand Bahama, 6 A category of 9,000 and 4 B category of 4,000 and 32 groups from the Family Islands.
Meantime, if Minister Bolag has his way, Junkanooers will be safe during the parades, and to ensure as much, the JCMP will partner with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. JCMP Chairman Dion Miller expressed thanks for the Junkanoo community's support. This while Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Tim Munnings, announced mass health screenings for parades.
I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, as well as to Minister Mario Bolag for their generous support in providing seed funding to the Junkanoo groups here in New Providence. Their commitment to the development of Junkanoo and their collaboration with the JCMP to organize the National Boxing Day and New Year's Day Junkanoo parades here in the capital is truly commendable.
This initiative underscores our unwavering commitment to the health and well-being of our citizens who passionately engage in this beloved cultural and national expression. In recent years, we've sadly witnessed the loss of at least one festival participant during the parade, with several near cases reported. Each life lost is a profound tragedy, and it is our collective responsibility to take proactive measures to ensure the safety and health of those who contribute to the beauty and festivity of Junkanoo.
The British Colonial hosting day 2 of its job fair at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium as officials continue the push to hire some 300 employees ahead of its early December opening. This time, the aim was to find employees to fill supervisory posts that will account for 150 of those 300 positions. Minister of Labour and Public Service, the Honourable Pio Glover-Roll, says she feels the property has been able to field many qualified job seekers, adding that the department has a number of other job fairs coming down the pipeline.
Very hopeful, looking forward to the hotel's opening, and of course always important that we drive our unemployment numbers down, and this today is a testament that more persons will be employed at this great property. There's going to be a labor on the blocks and a campus on the blocks that's coming up again before the end of the year. We're looking at October 31st and also November 18th. Of course, we'll make sure that we concretize those dates, and we'll put out our necessary advertisements. So follow our Department of Labor pages, which is Instagram and Facebook, if you are seeking employment. But also we have a job skill bank link that you can go onto our page, and if you are seeking employment, go ahead and fill out the job skill bank link.
There's a health seminar tomorrow targeting men organized by Bahamas Harvest Church. The guest speaker, Dr. Marcus Cooper, will address men on their health at the church's R&D West campus. Here's Minister Kevin Harris on the issues.
Some of the major key issues are going to be, first of all, the importance of having an annual or a physical every year. Very important, having that checkup as we know it to be. Second, early screening is very important for things like colon cancer. And of course, when we consider prostate cancer, it is important to have those things checked during your annuals so that you can be in a more informed position. So we're going to discuss colon cancer. We're going to discuss prostate cancer. We're going to talk about diabetes and hypertension in men, because we do have a lot of men who are suffering with high blood pressure. Some don't know it. There are many men dealing with diabetes and the effects of diabetes. And so this is going to be an opportunity for Dr. Cooper to share some key information as to how our men in this country can be able to tackle those major health challenges that we see every day.
With there being such sadness out there right now, tonight we're hearing from a woman who went through a dark, debilitating grieving process of her own and has now chronicled her journey into a new book meant to help others find themselves in a similar situation. Corval Pyfrom has more.
Joycelyn Gilbert and her husband, Dwight, were married 16 years. 2 years ago, Dwight died unexpectedly. Suddenly, Joycelyn found herself alone, her life partner and friend gone.
My grief was severe. It was painful. I felt guilt. I felt embarrassed, and I felt hurt.
She's channeling the pain and hurt of her grief and the triumph from perhaps not getting over it, but dealing with it into a new book. It's called Walking with God Through Death and Grief. She hopes it can help others.
One of the things that I found during my process of grieving is that we all associate grief with death. But grief is more than just death. I'm not where I used to be, but I'm getting better every day with God's grace and His mercies every day.
There will be a book launch this Saturday at 3 p.m. at the Vision of Hope Cathedral just off Yamakro Road.
As I continued to walk at a slow pace, I felt God's presence. Definitely, I was not alone. I saw God's handiwork from a different point of view. I used this opportunity to communicate with God. At this point, my pace increased, and at the end, I took a deep breath and said, "Thank you, Lord. You did it again."
And for more information, or if you'd like to purchase a copy of the book, Walking with God Through Death and Grief, contact author Joycelyn Gilbert at 421-1464. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
Well, on a lighter note, members of the Chinese Bahamian community coming together last evening to celebrate the Republic of China's 74th independence. Among the many in attendance, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis.
Tonight we gather to commemorate the 74th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. A momentous occasion that marks a significant chapter in the history of a resilient nation. Allow me to pause to thank you, Ambassador Dai, for expressing condolences on the passing of my dear friend Obi Wilchcombe, our Minister of Social Services. He was a great believer in people-to-people diplomacy. And during his tenure as Minister of Tourism, he sought to deepen relations with China in business, investment, and tourism. Let him continue to inspire us.
Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas, Her Excellency Dai Qingling, says for her country, there have been challenges along the way, but that aside, many citizens at home and abroad continue to benefit.
In recent months, the Chinese economy has encountered headwinds due to inadequate demand, rising difficulties in some sectors, and a challenging external environment. Thanks to a series of targeted measures, we have some good news to share for the first half of the year. For example, 5.5% growth, close to double-digit growth of exports to Belt and Road countries, and a 77% increase in domestic consumption. Given the enormous potential and resilience of the Chinese economy, we are optimistic about future prospects.
I think women have to speak for women, and we should be listening to women. We have to look at that. It's very difficult when you consider circumstances. Because they're so important globally, we expect to have the eyes of the world watching us.
You missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
With God, comfort can replace pain. Peace can replace turmoil. With God, hope can replace sorrow. God loves you. God hears you. God speaks to you in your thoughts, in your heart, and through living prophets. Come hear the words God has for you. Watch with us on ZNS Bahamas on Saturday, September 30th at 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. and on Sunday, October 1st at 7:30 p.m.
Fast, powerful broadband is heading to the Exuma Keys. Cable Bahamas group of companies announcing today its partnership with multi-telecommunications provider Global Nexus to lay a world-class subsea fiber network to 34 keys from Norman's Key to Great Exuma. Cable Bahamas CEO Franklin Butler says this undertaking marks a significant milestone in the company's commitment to spearheading technological advancement in Exuma.
Our message today is unequivocal. We are making strategic investments in infrastructure, setting a foundation for a resilient and thriving Bahamas. A vision where every individual and community is not only connected and well-equipped, but also primed to seize the opportunities of tomorrow.
The project, which will cost around $5 million, is expected to be completed by December. Global Nexus co-founder and director Andrew Allen says this pilot program will allow for other opportunities downstream for local businesses.
We're grateful for the efforts of our partners, Cable Bahamas, who have demonstrated a commitment to doing their part. They've now brought fiber all the way to Norman's Key from New Providence to the top of the Exuma chain, and we are now taking it to the mainland.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Bakisha. We have mostly cloudy skies this evening. Temperature 83 degrees. Relative humidity 75%. Southeast winds at 5 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,013.3 millibars. That's 29.92 inches. And your temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 82 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Green Torquay and Abaco. Marshall about 83 degrees. The Berry Islands 84. Allenstown, Bimini 85. 84 in Harper Island. Rock, Sandy Luther 82. Black Point, Exuma, and Camp Space on Andros 83 degrees. Also Fresh Freak Central Andros reporting 83 degrees. 82 is in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey, Georgetown, Exuma 82 degrees. 83 in Rygat Island, Clarenstown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Megwan 82, Acklands 82, Matthew Town, and Nagbo 84, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 84 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of F5P, the Dial King, and the Paint Center in the Northwestern Islands tonight through Friday. Those winds are going to be light and variable with flat seas 1 to 3 feet. Low tide takes place at 1:16 in the morning with a high tide at 7:21 tomorrow morning. Now for the central and southeastern islands through Friday, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. The extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Sometimes life hints at your next step, sending you signs all around, even in unexpected places, to lead you in the right direction. The signs are clear. It's time to pay less for your current mortgage and switch to Scotiabank. Enjoy lower interest rates and no payments up to 2 months when you switch your mortgage to Scotiabank. Plus, we'll even pay your switch costs. Paying less gives you more when you switch to Scotiabank.
September is an easy month to save when you shop the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounce, $1.59. Robin Hood flour, 5.5 pounds, $4.99. Super Value protein gas, 8 ounce, $1.99. Danish spare ribs, $2.89 per pound. Turkey wings, $1.89 per pound. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Have you ever purchased a defective item and was denied an exchange or cash refund? Contact the Consumer Protection Commission at 393-7795-8 or our 24-hour complaints hotline at 357-7898 and let us help your voice be heard.
Hey, get up, stand up for your right.
From the creators of I Am Ariel, and Jonathan's World presents another original production this National Heroes Month. From whence we came and beyond. On October 13th through the 15th, the history of the Bahamas comes to life. This 50th anniversary of independence, experience one of the most epic shows on a Broadway scale. Live on stage like you've never seen it. 3 days only. Sports.
Good evening, all. Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Tell you what, the sun has set on DeAndre Ayton's time in the Phoenix Suns camp. That's because he was traded this afternoon, part of a major 3-team deal that sends him to Portland. Damian Lillard going to the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's take a closer look at that deal. Big news out of the NBA involving Bahamian DeAndre Ayton. Ayton part of a 3-team trade involving Portland Trailblazers star Damian Lillard. The deal sends Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks. Meanwhile, Ayton, along with Drew Holiday, Toumani Camara, and picks will head to the Blazers. Suns will get Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. Still trying to reach out to DeAndre to get his thoughts on the trade. As soon as we find out more, we will, of course, keep you posted. Still with pro basketball, this time on the ladies' side, Grand Bahama native Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty looking to bounce back in their best-of-5 series in the WNBA. With the Connecticut Sun, Liberty getting a big night from Sabrina Ionescu. She finished with 20 points, helped lead the way to an 84-77 victory. That series now tied at 1-1. Game 3 set for Friday. Jonquel played 36 minutes in the contest, finished up with 11 points, 13 rebounds, and a block. University of the Bahamas men's soccer team, they were back in action against Millennia Atlantic University Macaws. Mingos had many opportunities to score in the Macaws in the blazing Florida sun. Just could not find the net, though. Macaws scored in the 7th minute and 26th minute. Mingos did come back after a penalty kick score from Peter Gilmas in the 49th minute. That gave them position to get a comeback in the second half, but they weren't able to capitalize on opportunities yet. And Mingos, they conceded goals in the 74th and 81st minute to make the score 4-1. Mingos go 0-2 in their series against that school in Florida.
As a striker, like, the main thing is you always want to score goals, and like seeing me having to score the goal, I was pleased with myself, but also not 100% pleased because like I had a few more chances I could have scored, but I didn't, unfortunately. But overall, I'm pleased that I was able to net 2 goals in 2 games.
Better than the first game.
We changed our game plan once we realized what we were dealing with in terms of the conditions of the field size and spacing, the referee, and of course the temperature played a role. We stuck to the game plan. We just didn't execute in front of goal, and they just had some great goals. And sometimes there's no answer for quality.
With the Bahamas set to host the Carifta Swim Championships next Easter, repairs underway on the Betty Kelly Canning Swim Complex. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, says the project is going well.
The repairs are going well right now. As you can see, they are reconstructing the surface of the pool. There's a lot of work to be done with the side, and Mertha has been the contractor who will be doing the work. There will be an extension of about 1,500 seats added to the facility to allow fans to come out and support the Bahamian team. Of course, you know, the athletes are most important asset of this event. They'll be going for the 7 straight champions, so we're encouraging all Bahamians to be prepared and get themselves out and support the team. But the facility definitely is going to be ready on time.
And minor league baseball news for you. The Tennessee Smokies won the Southern League Championship for just the 4th time in franchise history. Smokies defeated the Pensacola Blue Wahoos 10-3. B.J. Murray, a 3-run home run in the 3rd inning. That put the Smokies up 4-1. Tennessee never looked back from that point on. Murray did lead the team with 4 RBIs in the contest. Finished up 1 for 4 in the night with a run and the 4 RBIs. And that's it. Your look at sports here on this Wednesday. Don't go anywhere. We have that Wednesday look at the weather. That is coming up.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
First we plan, then we innovate, then we build. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we are committed to quality, to safety, and to service. We know that the road you take is just as important as your final destination. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, it is our job to make sure the road and the ride are as smooth as possible. From striping roads to building them, we are the right choice, the trusted choice, the only choice to help you build your tomorrow.
What's a Sand Dollar rebate? It's the digital Bahamian dollar back in your wallet. Top up any Sand Dollar enabled digital wallet and make a purchase of $50 or more in Sand Dollars at Super Value, Quality Supermarkets, Solomon's Fresh Market, or Sawyer's Fresh Market. Get up to $25 back when you redeem your rebate online between September 15th and October 15th at sanddollar.bs/rebate. Rules and restrictions apply.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we get you started in the tropics, and we have Tropical Storm Philippe still out there, barely hanging on to tropical storm status. At 5 o'clock, it was some 600 miles to the east of the northern Leeward Islands, moving west-northwest at 5 miles per hour. Maximum sustained was at 40 miles per hour, but we expect some weakening, which will take place over the weekend when Philippe could become just a remnant low-pressure system. And then over in the far eastern Atlantic, we have another strong tropical depression. This has a 90% chance of developing, and more likely will be our next tropical depression or tropical storm within the next day or two. And then closer to home, we have that upper level low over the Gulf of Mexico there. That continues to fuel lots of moisture across the Bahamas, and that will support Pockets of showers and thunderstorms for several days across the Bahamas. Tonight, we're looking at very warm, considerable cloudiness this evening, then partly cloudy as we get late into the night. Low temperature around 81 degrees. And tomorrow, pretty nice with intervals of clouds and sunshine. 88 degrees for your high temperature, and the extended weather forecast looking like this. Tomorrow will be a pretty nice day, but that will be short-lived. But by Friday, we'll have those showers and thunderstorms returning to the forecast area, and that will be with us right through the weekend and into the middle part of next week.
Well, thanks, Basil, and that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
Gary DeLonce, the original song, tribute to Obi Wilchcombe. The people them cry, the people them cry, when they heard the news that Obi Wilchcombe died. I say people them cry, plenty people cry, when they heard the news that Obi Wilchcombe died. All over Grand Bahama, Western and Bimini, when they heard the sad news, they didn't know what to do. Yes, them people cry, man, they cry, when they heard the news that Obi Wilchcombe died. Everyone was confused when they heard the news. Man, these West Northern so people get you. I say the people them cry, everybody cry.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.